All right, we'd like to welcome everybody to our last session of the evening. This is our state championship hot stove question and answer session with our esteemed panel. First, to my left, the 5A state champion from Dorman High School, Jack Jolly. Beside him, the 2A state champion from Latta, Don Cribb. From Dorchester Academy, Josh Mitchum. From PD Academy, Brian Davis. The 1A state champion from McBee, Chris Lloyd. And the 3A state champion from Bishop England, Mike Darnell. All right, the first question, gentlemen, I think all of us in the audience here tonight are obviously striving to be up on stage. So our first question to this esteemed panel is, what do champions do differently? What are some of the things that you guys do that you feel separate you from other teams or that are uniquely different to your program? And I'll just kind of turn the mic over to Jack and he can kind of pass it down as you see fit.
All right, I don't know if this is any different from anybody else, but I think one of the things that we try to do at Dorman is just be very consistent. I think champions are consistent in what they do on a daily basis, and I also think they pay attention to detail. I think the little things are very, very important. They make a big difference. Two questions that we ask our players and tell them to ask ourselves on a daily basis is one, did I give my best today for the team? And two, did I get better today? Because our goal is to try to get 1% better each day, and the only way I can do that is to put forth great effort and to try to give my best for the team for that day. The other thing that we do that I think is real important is that we really put a big emphasis on character. We ask our guys all the time, can we count on you? Can your teammates count on you? And that takes character to do the right thing. And so we're constantly on a daily basis talking about character and what it means to do the right thing and how your teammates can count on you and so forth.
These two guys basically said it. I can sit here and tell y'all that we outwork them, we outwork them, we outwork them. Odds are, y'all pushing as hard as we were. Having talent helps, for sure. One thing that we do and we strive on is we get better. Every day we get better. If we lose, we learn. How do we lose? What did we do wrong? Did we miss a sign? Did we miss a bunt? What could we do to win the game if we played them again the next day? And for us being at a small school, another way I think helps us is all my non-major games I'm playing against a bigger school. I want to see better pitching. I want to see better defenses. I want to see better coaches on the other side. And I want to challenge my guys every day to get better, learn from the losses as much as learn from the wins, and get better.
Going off of what Coach Cribb said, having talent definitely helps a lot. But when you have talent and they know that they're good at the game, I think we can all agree that young high school boys will tend to get complacent in what they do because they know how good they are. So on top of that, I think it's just a major point of emphasis for us to not be complacent, which leads to the point of consistency that Coach Jolly was speaking of. Because consistency is the only true power that can sustain a whole season, staying consistent in everything that you do. So really, for us, it's just a challenge to our players to not be satisfied.
First, I want to thank everybody for having us here tonight. Just a couple things. I think number one, your staff. I think if you got a good staff, and I know this is tough, especially with small schools like us. Me and Coach Hawkins are the only coaches at the school, and the other 4 coaches that I have had jobs outside of school. So the thing is, we've got a staff at McBee in the last few years has been consistent as well. And if you have a staff first that you have there that are loyal to you, and are gonna push the kids like you are, that's big, number one. Number two, the little things. Every day at practice, we wear, well, I know this sounds crazy, but we don't have a jersey, we have a shirt. We have a black and red shirt. And one day it's black, one day it's red, and they know to wear that stuff, and all the kids look the same when they're out there at practice. Now, you guys might say, well, okay, coach, but having that little detail like that is a big deal. That goes a long way. And the second thing, if your coaching staff works hard and the kids see you working hard, they're gonna bust their ass for you as well. That's just what I think. So I think if you are gonna expect a lot out of your kids, you gotta do the same thing for your program to be successful.
I think the only thing we do differently now than anyone else is we bunt a lot. There's no secret, you don't know everything, right? I mean, everybody knows everything. There's the internet. You can look and do whatever you want, right? You can look at this guy who posted this and that and the other, and I follow him and I do all that stuff. The thing that we do differently is we bunt still all the time, and nobody bunts. Everybody tries to hit the damn ball out of the park, and I said this all last year, the same thing. It's ridiculous. We bunt, and people can't defend a bunt, and so that's what we keep doing, and we win. You know, we got one real good pitcher this year, and hopefully we win 1-0 a lot. You know?
Great, good stuff, guys. Obviously, you mentioned some great points, and obviously players, without a doubt, helps. But I know you guys are doing some special things, especially with your practices. So share with us a sample practice, maybe break down the structure and the organization of it. I realize we don't have PowerPoint presentations, but maybe just walk us through, you know, what you're doing from beginning to end, your stretch, how are you stretching, how are you throwing, you know, what kind of drills are you doing, maybe footwork, speed, agilities, and then, you know, individual defense, team defense. Is there anything that you think that you guys do in practice that maybe really has been beneficial?
So our practices have gotten shorter. That's one of the big things for us. I've got 2 young daughters that play every sport, you know, there is. And we collectively as a staff have tried to make practices shorter. So our practice is pretty much the same. Every day it just switches what we're doing. We, you know, stretch. The kids do all the stretching. I don't mess with any of that stuff. We either long toss one day, mechanics the next day. We do every single day 10 minutes of defensive basics. That's just, you know, bare hands, soft hands, gloves, switch that up. Fly ball communication every single day. When we play, the wind blows a lot, so 5 minutes of that. Some kind of inside game, some kind of BP where we really limit BP. We do bunting every day. We do some kind of inside, moving a guy, you know, game. Then they get 5 swings of their own. That's it every single day. If they want to swing their ass off, they can come do that in the cage. And then we do another portion of inside game for 5 or 10 minutes. That's something like rundowns or, you know, or back picks or, you know, things like that. And then that's it. Days that we lift after practice, we don't condition or anything. We go lift and then we work speed and agility after our lift. Days that we don't lift, we get after it pretty good as far as big time cardio, whether that's a, you know, a fun run of, you know, anywhere between 2 and 5 miles, or we run a bunch of poles or whatever. We try, it's all competing though. They all compete against one another in all of those things that we do. We keep record of points and all that stuff that guys get. So that's pretty much a basic day. We try to go, we get on 3:15, we start stretching, and we try to be done at 5:30.
Really nothing else to say, because he's pretty much right. We pretty much do the same thing. We have 3 teams at our school. We have 1 field. So we have middle school, JV, and varsity. We try to get a lot of stuff done. But one thing I think we did different last year, well, actually 2 things. One, we go hard a lot more in practice. And I know baseball is one of them games that you can kind of practice sometimes gets tedious, but we try to go fast in practice, do a lot of live situations. Every Friday we have this little thing called Figure 8 Friday, where if the kids mess up on the fly ball, stuff like that, they run figure 8s around the town pretty much. It's pretty fun. And one thing we do a lot of that we stole from Clemson, I like what Coach Lee, Monty does up there. It's called the live dead drill. If you haven't seen it, it's just simple. Or you get 4 pitches, you play the first one live, the second one dead, the third one live, dead. And your defensive guys are playing everything live in those live situations, and dead just taking off. But it's helped us a lot the last couple of years. So, and like he said, bunting and That's pretty much it.
For us, I would say it's definitely small drill work, just a few minutes a day doing that, but also just taking the next step forward, progression in those drills, whether it's just soft hands, just bare hands, and then we're working on flips at second, double plays, whatever, and then it's going right into the infield in live situations. We try to progress and build throughout practice on those things. Swings, same way, tees, front toss, whatever it may be, and then into live BP on the field, and then running it that way. Small ball, we typically have a bunny station every day. We keep those guys rotating through. Pretty important in our game as well. We like to win a lot of low-scoring ball games, so you can't harp on that stuff enough. Just small things like that. But our practices are typically progressional. Little bit bigger, and form the big picture.
So a lot of our practices, super fast paced, fun to watch. I try to talk to parents actually to come in there watching. These kids get after it. They're gonna dive, they're gonna make the plays we have to. We usually start with stretching and warming up. We probably don't get to work as many pitches as I would like during the week because we're busy doing some other stuff. So when we're warming up and our guys are coming back in, our pitchers might be throwing change-ups at 90 feet. They might be working on their pickoff move to second, how we're warming up still. That way we kind of kill two birds with one stone. Once we get on the field, we're usually doing four groups of 5 hitting, and we're going to put a net in front of first base and a net behind second base, and we run almost everything live. My shortstop, ground balls hit them. I got two guys short, 2 guys at second. My starters, he's taking as many ground balls as we could get, and he's going to play it live. He's not going to make that throw most of the time. Sometimes he is. It depends how practices are going. Sometimes we'll make a throw. Other times he'll field it, come up like he's going to throw, and just toss it over to the bucket over second. And if he could get back before the next ground ball's hit and get in good position, he's taking the next ground ball. Same thing with second, same thing with third. Those times we'll have that net in front of first, we'll be working on first baseman. He can't get hit by the ball because we're working on the move there. Outfield-wise, it's the same thing those guys are getting it. It's 100 miles per hour as fast as we could go. And I really think it made it fun for the kids when we really ramped it up and said, hey, we're going to do this, and we're not going to practice long. We're going to be out here hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes. But when we're here, when you go home, I want you to take a shower and go straight to bed. You're going to be tired.
I'm not going to go through the whole practice plan, just a couple of high points of what we do. Of course, we don't do anything different than most of y'all. We do dynamic stretch. We don't loosen up. We have a throwing program, and we're going to tweak it a little bit this year. Coach Lee at the clinic we had at Firefly Stadium, there's some good stuff there. We're going to incorporate some of that stuff, throwing from positions. Just instead of just loosening it up, wasting time, we're going to try to get something out of it. Matt Schilling spoke at a clinic, I think last year, and one thing that he said that I've always tried to do and make sure we do now is we try to do a little bit a lot as opposed to a lot a little bit. I mean, we'll do first and third, defense and offense at least twice a week, but we're going to do it for 12 minutes. But we're going to do it a lot.
We're very routine oriented. We have a stretching routine. We have a throwing program. Our infielders throw with infielders. Our outfielders throw with outfielders. Our catchers throw with catchers and so forth. Our pitchers have pins. They have a certain throwing program they do before they do the pin. So we have a lot of routines that we teach them and they do on a daily basis. One of the things that we talked about last year that we felt like we needed to do to help our team is make our drills more game-like and more competitive. So we want to try to practice at game speed, and we want to not just do that in game play, but also in our drills. And so we try to get them to compete in everything that they do, whether it's partner drills, individual drills, or a group defense, or something team-wise. We just try to push them to compete and make it as game-like as possible. We felt like that really helped our team last year.
Outstanding, guys, thank you. A lot of good stuff there in practice. Along those same lines, I know I'm curious about it, I'm sure a lot of other people are, and you guys are fortunate to play as deep in the playoffs as you did, winning it all. But how does your practice change as you transition into playoffs? Does it change any? Do you shorten it? Do you do some different things as you transition into the playoffs after you've already played 24, 26 games? And I'm also curious, what are your thoughts about days off as well as weekend practices?
We do go lighter as we go into the season, so, we'll start at the beginning of the year. Our practices may go to, say, 6:30 or so. And then, once we get into the start of the season, the regular season, it may back off to like 6 o'clock. As we get to spring break, it may shorten up to 5:30. And I think last year when we got into the playoffs, it was basically a review and some VP and just trying to keep them fresh. And, we probably didn't practice until maybe 5 o'clock. And I just felt like that really helped us stay fresh. And, at that point in time, there's not a lot of teaching. It's just review and just mentally keeping them fresh, physically keeping them fresh, and so forth. Early in the year, we do some weekend stuff. We will scrimmage on Saturday. We will do some things on the weekend, but once we get started in the regular season, I try to give them the weekends off. I really feel like that it's beneficial for them to, be a kid, do some things with their family, rest, get a mental break, and hopefully come back on Monday ready to go. But, we feel like it's important to let them honor that time and not make it a 6 or 7 days a week throughout the whole season.
We don't do a whole lot different. We stay pretty much on routine. We don't want to change stuff. We'll back off on a few things. Normally when we go to defensive VP and we go real hard, we're going to slide, we're going to do it all. We back off of that a little bit as the playoffs go on. We'll scout ourselves as we go through our season, and we get to the playoffs. We identify the weaknesses we have, and we address those and try to get as solid as we can.
So what we typically do is we'll slow down a little bit. Practices will probably get cut 30, 45 minutes. Focus a lot more on the small game, whether it's stealing, whether it's bunting, not just up there taking 50 swings a day. We'll take a little more ground balls, and we usually go pretty light on our arms. When we come in, I'm at a smaller school, I don't have so many good arms. And a lot of my good arms are my shortstop or my catcher or my second baseman. So I really got to slow it down when it gets to arms.
Along with the other coaches, obviously you're going to cut down some time in practice when playoffs roll around. That's a pretty strenuous time of the year. So we do that, but practice-wise, there's enough pressure on them as is when they're in the playoffs, especially when people are telling them, y'all about to win state, y'all going to go do it. People, they're constantly hearing that, especially in small towns. So in order to kind of take their mind off of it, we play some hitting games, some throwing games, different things like that, just to change it up, get them to compete in a different way, just let them have fun with the game.
We practice every day, Monday through Friday, rain, sleet, snow, shine, whatever. We got a cage out in the center field that we have access to, covered cage, so we don't miss a practice. That's one thing that helps us. As far as weekends go, I live 4 blocks from the school. I have a wife who's very nice and still stays with me, so I tell the kids, hey, the cage will be open Saturday and Sunday, I'll be up there, and the coaches usually there helping out, working on the field all the time as well. As far as our practices, it sounds kind of crazy. We got more intense as the season went on. So me and Coach Hawkins sat down one day in school, and I just looked at him and I said, I don't think we're doing enough with our kids. That's on me as head coach. And so him and I sat there and devised a plan, and we went out the next day. We had pitch machine home plate, pitch machine in center field, and we started getting after it.
So we're Monday through Saturday until April. April, we don't practice on Saturdays anymore, and then once our JV's done, we practice everybody together, so now you've got 20 dudes instead of you got 40 dudes, and so our practices inherently are shorter, so it just kind of works out that the timing works for playoffs and stuff like that, but structure's all the same, it just is able to be done a little bit more efficiently with less young guys.
Awesome. Strength training and speed and agility training have gotten more attention at all levels of baseball these days. Share with us what type of off training your teams are doing and how often they're doing it. Maybe what you're doing in the summer, what you're doing in the fall, the preseason, and also in season if you lift, if you don't lift, kind of how you break that down throughout the year.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 months out of the year is what we do. All summer long. We just started 2 years ago, I think, doing a summer team lift. It used to be just come in, I'll be there from 8 to 12, come and get your lift. Now the summer is every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're there from 9 to 10:30, and it's regular old meathead lifting stuff, and then speed and agility, we just alternate the days, and one of those days is what our kids call CrossFit Day, and basically it's just a massive circuit training with, tires and ropes and all that stuff. So we do it all. Coach D at the Citadel, as I went to the Citadel, so he's awesome. He's got a million things, and it's all on social media. And then the guys from Coastal, who the guy was here last year, that guy's phenomenal too. Go on their Twitter pages and stuff like that, and you can get more information than you could possibly ever use. We just copy most of the stuff they do.
We live pretty much now, we have a class, well not class, we have a lot of our kids are in PE or fourth period, we get them there and lift during the school day, so that helps out a lot. Coach Hawkins pretty much runs that, and I make sure I show up as well to show my face so the kids know we're all in there. Summertime, it's kind of a dead time for us, to be honest with you. You got kids that play summer ball, we don't make it mandatory, plus in a small school like Mac, we've got to have our kids playing football, so they're lifting anyway, and then as soon as we come back to school in September, and you guys know, because I think one of the questions we're going to have is about 20 days and how it changed this year. So what we did was, because they limited our practice to only 20 days starting in December, we just went hard from ever since school started back, just lifting and conditioning more, so that's what we took advantage of.
Yeah, we lift pretty much year-round. All of our guys are playing football and they're playing basketball. The majority of the team is. And so we do lift. They're pretty much lifting in season throughout the year. It's about 3 days a week, and we incorporate speed and agility stuff every day. I'm fortunate enough to have the speed and strength coach on the football team. He's also on the baseball staff with me, so that helps out a lot. But we incorporate it all 3 days on both ends of that. There's so much stuff nowadays that you can find. It's really easy to keep a change, nice change of pace and keep it different for the kids. There's all kinds of information out there. They're pretty much lifting in season all year round. So it's about 3 days a week. So that's, for us, it never really changes. There was a down period for us. It would probably be the month of December, right around in there. Just because we play football all the way through November, last half of November, and then December they kind of get some downtime as they're transitioning into another sport, and then we take off in January.
So we're the same way as them, being at a small school. We got a group of athletes that basically gonna play every sport. They're gonna play football, they're gonna play basketball, they're gonna play baseball. So the football coach does all their weight lifting and all their speed and agility. Most of our guys, our starting shortstop is a wide receiver, and then our starting center field is a running back, or our second baseman is the quarterback. That's just how it works in a small school. So, and to be honest, when you're at a small school like that, football brings in the money. At a private school, football is king because it brings in the money. So he basically maintains all that, and it works out good for me, because that's one less thing that I really have to. I'm not an employee at the school, so I'm not there all day, every day, so that's one less thing I have to do as a coach there.
Over half of our guys play football. And so from the summer on, I mean, those guys, they're working. We were fortunate enough this year to have a baseball class, and we get most of our work done starting in August. Football guys are lifting during the summer, otherwise we don't do a whole lot during the summer. The guys that play, I mean, we don't lift, but we live through the whole semester. And the second semester, we do lift in season also.
At Dorman, we have no excuses. We have 3 full-time strength coaches, paid strength coaches that take care of everything. So I just come in and make sure the players are doing what they're supposed to. And they have a program for us that includes strength training and weight training and conditioning. So we're very, very fortunate. Like I said, we have no excuses. During the summer, they set up a program where we do a combo of skill and speed and strength 2 days a week. In season, out of season, we lift at least 4 days a week, and then in season, it's 2 or 3, depending on how many games we have that week. But like I said, we have full-time certified people that run those programs for us.
If you can, and again, not everybody needs to answer this, I'll just kind of see if everybody wants to take it, but just curious, describe the turning point or maybe that breakthrough moment during the season that led to your championship, or was there a key moment when you knew you had a special group that was capable of doing things?
All right, for us, right before our spring break tournament, we noticed that we had one young man on the team that didn't seem to be on the bus with us. He didn't seem to be all in and wasn't giving great effort at practice and so forth. And after a Friday night game, had a couple seniors come up to me and they had noticed the same thing, and they had tried to talk to the young man and didn't see any change. And so they wanted to bring it to my attention. And so we met with the player, and the player decided, he needed to move on and not be a part of the team anymore. And from that point on, when we went to the spring break tournament, it was amazing how that person being gone and them not having that distraction or someone not being on the same page or in the same boat brought our group together. And it was just amazing during the tournament how we saw them come together and grow tighter and tighter. And then right after the tournament, we won a couple of real close games where we came from behind and had a walk-off win, and then their confidence began to grow. And we kind of knew from that point on, if we continue to play well, that we might have a chance. But I really believe for our team, it was about not just talent, but their chemistry, their tightness, their togetherness, and having some senior leadership who put their friendship aside and was willing to say, this guy's not doing what's best for the team, and we need to hold him accountable.
I think when you have a championship season, you have a whole bunch of little special moments leading up to that. I guess our big one, we went to Hartsville and played in the Southeastern Baseball Classic and played against 4 pretty good teams, and they really handed it to us. I think it might have had a little bit to do with that complacency Brian was talking about. When we got back, we went back to work, talked about accountability. We practiced with a little better intent, and kind of turned things around for us. Then we went 15-1 after that.
The high school league altered our off-season practice schedule this year. What are your thoughts on the changes from the open seasons that we had to the 20 days in December and January? And also take us through how you used your 20 days and did you like the way you used it? Will you change anything next year?
It sucks. We don't like it. We did try to utilize some days in December and January. We didn't get near the days in because of cold weather and rain, and our field is still wet. So hoping we can have tryouts next week, but we've already decided, next year we're we probably won't do anything in December after school. We may do some things during class, but not after school, just try to utilize some days in January. I guess really for us, the only positive is we're able to take our pitchers through a program and through bullpens and not just hand them something on paper and say, go do this and hope that they're doing it. So we've been able to monitor that part. Other than that, we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm okay with it because most of our guys play football anyway, so we started December 3rd and our main focus was on our pitching. And our guys have been throwing bullpens. We feel like we're ahead of the game right now. As far as next year, we did do other position stuff. We still hit, but we'll probably try to do more of that.
Doesn't bother me. I mean, it's all how you make it as a coach. You can either get upset about it or just do something about it. So we just decided to push harder towards lifting. We did go back out, like I said, December 3rd when we started. And we really go hard, we get the kids back in shape because let's face it, in our season, we played 33 games last year and our season's long. It really is. So, we're just preparing to get ready for next week, get stuff done around the field and everything. So when we start Monday, we're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all, any of the open season stuff, the way they did it before, they do it now, I don't like any of it. I coach football, I'm an assistant athletic director, so I have to be at all the, home events and things like that. It's tough to do. We did 8 days of it, I think, if we even got out for all of them. One offensive day, one defensive day, and switch those up. And lifting, we went out for maybe an hour, but I'm not a big fan of it at all.
All right, the late Ken Revisa, Brian Kane, and John Gordon, just to mention a few, have brought the mental game to the forefront in baseball. Do you guys incorporate teaching the mental game? Do you incorporate any of it in practice, in your training, and as well as in games?
I have used all those books, Heads Up Baseball, multiple books by John Gordon. I would encourage you, if you're not reading those books or using their books, they're very, very helpful. The mental game is very, very important. We try to utilize it every single day. We have, some type of quote of the day, thought of the day, just some type of focus on it. I don't think you can do it just once a week or every now and then. I think you have to focus on it every day because the mental part of baseball is, such a huge part of the game. And so we try to do something with it every single day, incorporate it into our practice plan, put it up on the board, and so forth.
We try to be as positive as we can with our guys. We're going to teach them sound fundamentals. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to teach them good approaches. Try to get their baseball IQ as high as we can get it. But I'm not an expert in psychology, so this game we coach is a very special game. So if we do all those other things, then just let the magic of baseball take care of the rest. This game will teach you so much.
So I like the mental aspect of it. We're confident. We're going to be confident when we get in the box, we're confident on the mound, and we preach confidence, confidence, confidence. If you don't think you can do it, you've heard this 1,000 times, you ain't going to do it. I don't care if that guy's throwing 95, I want you to tell me you're going to go in there and do work. So confident-wise, that's what we mentally, that's where we want our guys to be with that.
We share a book, Mind Gym, and it's become a joke because the kid will read a chapter, it's like 2 pages or whatever, and then they present on it. And so now our kids will chirp if we get somebody in the Mind Gym because they're not mentally prepared to do whatever it is. And I'm different, I'm negative as hell, and I yell at people all the time, and I'm chomping on people's ass during practice and all that stuff, and they don't want to get near me when they've screwed up. But we're chomping at practice like crazy, so the games are fun, and then when kids can't handle the pressure, then the first thing our guys start chirping to each other about being in the Mind Gym, and we'll get a guy so frustrated because he can't handle it mentally. And that's just because I don't think a lot of kids nowadays can handle that failure. And baseball, as we all know, is a game of failure. So that's all we use it for, really, is to just mess with everybody else.
Fundraising seems to be a necessary evil at the high school level. Just curious what fundraisers you guys have tried, what's been successful, what are your fundraising goals, and how you prioritize how those funds are spent.
We'll be using David Beckley next year, so right there, go see David outside. Known David my whole life, and we'll be using him next year, so, and it'll work. I believe in him that much.
Kind of a little spill off of what Bishop England does as far as having that one guy who is good at construction. We kind of do the same at PD. Hopefully we got a couple of guys, you know, their dads are good with sod and things of that nature, and field work and whatever, and putting up this and putting up that. And everybody's kind of got their little honey hole of where they can get some money from if they've got a big project going on. So that's kind of the way we do things. Me personally as a coach, locally, just with small businesses that like to support. We do some sponsorship signs at MACD. Something we ran across maybe last couple of years is we'll do foul ball sponsorships. Any ball that leaves the premises, or however you want to call it, he'll play. Got a little PA guy, and he'll just kind of reel off, you know, that foul ball sponsored by such and such. So get some business names out there like that, and they'll put up, you know, $200, $250, have their name reeled off throughout the game constantly. So just little things like that, but mainly ours is from just local businesses and going out and trying to get it that way.
So we do the same as a lot of those guys. We're going to sell the signs and all that stuff. We got a kid that, he's a senior this year, so it's going to be bad after this, but I mean, they built us a brand new baseball field last year. And we have a nice batting cages. We might have the nicest facilities in skis. I firmly believe that. I tell people that all the time. We do one or two big things a year. One of the fundraisers we do, and it's probably the most profitable one, and everybody's going to sit here and laugh at it, but we live in the country. I mean, we live, and you might go 10, 15 minutes without seeing a house or anything. So we do what we call a cow drop. And we sell 1,000 tickets at $20 a ticket, okay? It's a lot of money. Next thing you know, my left field has 4x4 squares painted in it, and they let a cow loose on my left field, and wherever he poops, somebody makes some money. And we'll usually give out, you know, we'll give out less than half the money, to be honest. We'll do 3 little runs, and I think the first place is like 25, then 15, and then 1,000. But I mean, it's a huge fundraiser. It takes all of one day to do it.
All right, we're nearing the end, guys. Even on championship teams, it's difficult to keep everybody happy. How do you approach disgruntled players, parents?
I said this last year. I'm open door, and I'll tell them exactly what they don't want to hear. Both of them, parents, the players, you know, they don't want to hear that they ain't good enough. The kids know. We all know that. The kids know for the most part, right? The guy in front of me is better than me, and all my buddies know, and all that. The parents don't. That's the problem. But when you bring them in and you say, hey, look here, your kid isn't as good as this, I see him every day, and this, that, and the other, they usually look at you, or you tell them, hey, they haven't been doing X, Y, and Z, and that's the end of it. I mean, as long as you're up front with them and let them know, I mean, if they don't like it, hell, y'all all know now, they'll just transfer, you can go anywhere, anytime, anyway. So, you know, good riddance, because it's usually the parents that are the problem anyways.
We have a parent meeting at the beginning of the year, and I think a lot of you probably do as well. There's no secret to the success of it. We just kind of flat. But what I do, what we do, the coaches are there. I put, when we go down the list of what we're going to talk about, I make sure that the expectations of the coaches is the first thing, and then the very second thing is the parent expectations. That's the very second thing I put on it, so I don't know how important it is, but we pretty much tell, and I've told my parents, and last year, knock on wood, and, you know, we didn't have any problems, because when you really, you know, people aren't going to just come in front and, you know, come in front of you about stuff, but we tell them flat out, I don't talk to parents. Once they have that time, they're not meeting to say something to me. After that, that's it. They don't confront my coaches. If they have any problems, they go talk to their son, and then their son can come talk to us.
I'll talk to the players at any time. They have my number, they come see me, they could text me, whatever they want to do, I'll talk to them anytime. Parents, it's a 24-hour rule. You don't come talk to me within 24 hours of that last game we played. If we lost that game, I'm in a bad enough mood. The last thing I want to hear is how little Johnny would have hit a home run in the 7th inning to win, okay?
All right, great stuff. How about a big round of applause for these guys? We appreciate your time tonight.